that even that simple statement isn't easy to wrap your arms around and really embody, right?
Yeah.
And let me just plug, A Course of Love for a second, because that's the whole point of the book. Become observable of that. In other words, don't necessarily get into this whole process. In other words, I don't want to make it sound like you have to read 1,000 books to figure out what works and what doesn't work. It's just be observable as that. In other words, if you've got a choice, number one thing, realize you got a choice between the fear and the love. And then don't try and preach to somebody. Don't say, here's my opinion, this is the way you should do it. Just become observable of that.
Yeah, it reminds me of a meme. One of my buddies, I've done a podcast with him before. You might enjoy it, but he's actually grown a lot in his journey of communication, but also his understanding of spirituality. Mm-hmm. His name's Adam. We did a podcast together. He posted a meme one time on Instagram, and it was basically me judging people for them being judgmental, right? Right? Because it's like, I am loving awareness, but these guys aren't, so fuck those guys, they're doing it wrong. And so here I am judging people for being judgmental. Right. And actually, so it sounds like, I didn't know this, that you were such a Ram Dass fan, but I will send you that song. He also has another song called Love Everybody. Right. And he basically described his experience. He said the second visit to India, he had the guru pull him aside and he said, Ram Dass, love everybody.
Right. And he's tell the truth. And tell the truth.
Yes, he's like, Ram Dass, love everybody. And I said, I can't. I have all these judgments of people. And then the song is beautiful. And then he comes back and he said, Ram Dass, love everybody and tell the truth.
Even when you don't love everybody, just keep loving them and tell the truth.
Yeah.
Because you learned from that process.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, damn. Yeah, I had an experience recently where, in terms of confidentiality, I'll just kind of try to be a high level perspective. It was just somebody made a decision that impacted my whole family. And at first, to be totally honest, excuse for the language, I was looking at that person, I was like, fuck you for doing that, because that impacts everybody in my family, and it ostracized someone in my life that I love. It made them feel horrible. And regardless of what had happened that led to that experience, I was just a big F you to that person. And then I had to come to the realization that I'm capable of those things. Right. And it's not that I don't love them, I'm just pissed off about the decision. Mm-hmm. Right? So I love you, and I'm going to love you from afar.
Right.
So I don't know if you've, how you've been able to employ this love everybody, tell the truth in your life.
I'm still working on it, because there's an automatic sort of shut-off valve when something happens, that you don't like. Yeah. And to the extent that shut-off valve goes in, you really get trapped. I was telling you earlier today about, the situation in my company, in other words, where I've just got a shut-off valve that's gone on with somebody, and to the extent that occurs, I'm really taking counseling from somebody who's very spiritual about how to notice that aggravation is there, because I'm not aligned with the perspective on how do I just love them and understand that somehow we're going to learn from this experience, or they're going to learn from it.
Yeah.
In other words, just hold them in your mind lovingly, and unfortunately the ego has a way of kind of overriding that a little bit.
Sure.
But you have to keep practicing it, keep trying.
Yeah. So
there isn't just one, I'm always going to do that, because it's going to keep coming back up.
Yeah.
But that's sort of to me, that's the difference between the collective consciousness and our own personal consciousness. We can be clear about the fact that we want to be that way, but we've got to realize that we're swimming in a water of not that. In other words, that there is still judgment, there is still alienation, there's still lack of connection. And so we have to sort of be willing to flow with that, but keep making the decision. You're going to come from love. You're going to see the benefit. You're going to be curious.
Yeah.
Don't get fixed in a perception that that's the only way to see it.
Yeah.